From $80, I was starting to charge $120, and the market was still like, you can go a little bit higher. What's up, everyone, and welcome to my channel, Noble is Global. My name is Noble, or if you speak Mandarin, you can call me Gao Shang. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me this question, and that is, how much should I be charging for my Airbnb listing? Very, very important question. And why is that? If you're going to live a global lifestyle, if you want to eventually quit your 9-to-5 job or maybe make additional income, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So in this video, I'm going to give you practical tips, tricks, and steps that you can take to price your Airbnb listing, but to also take home top dollar. So you're going to want to stay tuned to the very end. Let's go. First, I'm going to break down a real Airbnb bill, like the bill that your guest is going to see when you charge them and when they've decided to book. This is real money that I've made. I want to show you, and I'm going to break it down. If we look here to the left, the accommodation, your nightly rate, let's just say it's like $250, multiply that by 4 nights, then the accommodation would be $1,000, okay? Underneath that, you're going to see the cleaning fee. You get to determine that. We're going to talk about the cleaning fee in a completely separate video because that's a whole topic on its own, but you can set the cleaning fee, okay? Under that, you're also going to see the guest service fee. So Airbnb charges a percentage of the total booking amount and is going to bill that to the customer for using the platform. Last, but certainly not least, we have the occupancy taxes. That is billed to the customer because a lot of local officials were like, okay, hotels are paying occupancy taxes, so now Airbnbs have to. No malarkey. But anyway, now you know what the guest is going to be receiving in the form of a bill. That is, they're going to pay all of that, okay? Which is also why a lot of people think that Airbnb is expensive, because they think that I'm making money on the occupancy taxes. Sometimes they think that I'm making money on the host service fee. That all goes towards Airbnb or the local government. Now, of that, I'm going to show you the bill that I receive, or rather the amount that I'm going to receive. All hosts are going to receive the accommodation plus the cleaning fee. And then Airbnb is going to take out money from me, and it's a 3% host service fee. So they're charging not only the guests, but they're charging me to use the platform. 3% is nothing. It's not a big deal. It goes straight to Airbnb, and I'm thankful for it because it covers my insurance, what else does it cover? It covers the lovely insurance policy and also the incredible customer support that I have in case I have unruly guests or I need to contact somebody with an incident. Okay. And now's a good time. If you're enjoying this video, please give this video a subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Every little bit of support helps, especially because I'm a new channel. 非常感谢你们. Now you have seen a true bill. Okay, now you know what the guest is paying. You know how much of that you're going to be making. And there's also a little reminder, you need to be really careful when you're giving out discounts. Most of the time, guests are not aware that the amount that they're being charged is not the amount that you're actually earning. Now we're going to break it down into the 3 pillars that determine the market price for your Airbnb listing. We're going to be focusing on the accommodation piece, okay? And that is going to be your nightly rate. What are the things that affect your nightly rate and how much you can charge if you're really trying to get top dollar for your Airbnb listing? The first one, it's going to be location. Okay, the second one is going to be demand, and the third one is going to be your Airbnb reviews. These 3 pillars of your Airbnb price work in tandem with each other, but they're independent. So we're going to start with location first so you really have an understanding of what I'm talking about. If you don't know, right now I'm in Brooklyn. I'm having a blast. I'm in New York City.
I like bread. I like bread.
Yeah, people are going to pay more to be in Brooklyn than they would in, I don't know, in like Alpharetta. Which is in Georgia. It's a suburb of Atlanta that I'm from. The thing is, you have to keep in mind that location will always demand top dollar. People will pay more for a central location that's close to all of the action as opposed to someplace that is in a quiet suburbs, even if they're getting technically more value, you know, even if it's a bigger space. Think about urban versus suburban versus rural. Think about the city that you're living in. Thinking about, is it a tourist city? Is it a place that's a little bit in the cut? It's not to say that you can't continue to get guests because people will still stay booked and busy. The thing is, the amount that you can charge really depends on the location. So I tell people, you know, just because you live in, you know, like a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom in the middle of the city, don't discount the fact that you can make really, really great money on Airbnb because your location is central. People are going to be willing to spend more money on a couch just to get that experience, to be in the middle of the hustle and bustle, as opposed to like a 3-bedroom home. Urban locations tend to bring in top dollar. Okay, so point number 2 is demand. Why is demand super important? Well, first of all, demand is the relationship between Airbnb listing versus the amount of people that want to shuffle through your area, whether it be tourists, visitors, business people, families, travelers, whatever you have That is your supply. Now it's influenced by location, but demand is independent of location. What do I mean by that? So you're going to notice that weekend prices will always, across the board, if you're doing Airbnb, weekend prices will always be more than your weekday prices. Special events, like I remember they had like the Super Bowl and the World Series. Some people were making whatever they usually make in a month within a few days. That's how powerful demand is. And so understanding what's going on in your area is going to allow you to charge top dollar, which is what I want you to get. So make sure you know what's going on in your area, because that's going to affect the price that you can charge. Location does influence demand. So, it doesn't hurt if you're in a great area that has lots of special events and things and activities that are going on, because it's going to increase the demand for that particular area. But regardless of where you are, you have to understand that generally speaking, weekends are going to cost more. Anytime there's like a festival or a special event, or like there's a convention coming through, like for example, Dragon Con happens every single year. That means there's thousands of people that are going to be shuffling through, and they're all going to need a place to stay. And that's just what the market is asking for. So anyway, that's demand. And now point number 3, it's going to be your Airbnb ratings. I stress this every single video. Like, becoming a superhost is so important. I've made a couple of videos on that, how to become a superhost super fast. And I've also talked about the benefits in another video about why you want to become a superhost. But what I want to communicate to you is that your Airbnb ratings are pivotal to you making top dollar. And that's because you have the credibility and the social proof to charge what you want to charge within the market, of course. But the best way I can explain this is, do you notice like when you're on Amazon, right? And you're like scrolling through different items and you look at something that costs like $4 more or $5 more, but it has 5-star reviews as opposed to 3.5. Even the product might look the same, but the social proof of the ratings will cause you to spend a little bit more money, because it's related to the experience that you're hoping that you will receive at the end of this purchase. So with that being said, your Airbnb ratings are crucial to you charging top dollar. If you have 2 stars or 3 stars, you are not going to make the same as a superhost. Not even a 4-star rating. Superhosts demand top dollar because they've got the ratings. Okay, so now that we got the context out of the way, I know a lot of it was common sense, but it's worth explaining because these 3 things will affect how much money you will be able to make. And I want to make sure that you are well informed before you start tinkering with your Airbnb prices. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all of the practical steps you can take to knowing how much you're going to charge for your Airbnb. Step number 1, I want you to take out your Airbnb app, because there's like a lot of public information out there. And what I want you to do is look for similar listings in your area. So for example, if you have like a 2-bedroom home, I want you to look for 2-bedroom, similar bathrooms, all of that stuff in your area, and see what hosts are currently charging for a very similar listing. You got to like take advantage of all of the public information that Airbnb already provides. So you got to open up your app, do a little bit of research, find those similar listings, and then I want you to, just don't reinvent the wheel. Copy what works for you, change it up a little bit, and make adjustments, and use that as your target price. So if you're starting off, of course, go a little bit under that. Like if it's 150 that you're seeing, go under to like maybe 125 or 120 as you're starting off, because you want to start building reviews, but don't go too low. Okay. Step number 2, another practical step you can take, go on airdna.com. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I believe if you do a free trial, they have so much information down to like occupancy rate, amount that you can make based on your zip code, similar listings. So if you make a free account, you can get all of that information for, I believe, like 1 listing. If you do end up paying for the service, I think it's completely worth it, to be honest, because it provides so much data, so much metrics that are going to help you in the long term. But just start with a free trial for now and figure out how much people are charging for that listing. It will give you all of that information. And don't worry, I've included a link in the description box below so you can click on that. You don't have to remember it. 下一个. So what we're going to do next, now this is a really simple way to estimate your Airbnb earnings. You can actually use my referral link down below if you're just getting started. Just a little caveat, Airbnb's link, they really underbid how much you can make on a monthly basis. If you want a good conservative estimate, this is a great place to start. With the Airbnb referral link, you can type in your address and it will tell you how much you can possibly earn. So just caveat, it's a very conservative number, which I think is kind of good. Like use a conservative number, shoot for the stars and land on the moon. Something I want you to all keep in mind, especially for those of you who already have Airbnb profiles, there's something called smart pricing. This is something you do not want to do, okay? Airbnb smart pricing is like, it really lowballs you. When I first started, I had a home, and they were telling me to charge like $80 a night. Ain't no way, Jose. I'm just not doing that because it's not worth it in terms of cleaning, guests, things like it wasn't worth my time. But of course, the reason why they have that, it's because they want to suggest prices that will ensure the highest likelihood of a booking, because Airbnb only makes money on less people book. They don't have to deal with the operative side of things because that's your job as a host. So the thing is, a smart price is not accurate in any way possible. It is not even close to the market rate of how much people should be charging for their listing. From $80, I was starting to charge $120, and the market was still like, you can go a little bit higher. And then I went to $130, $140, $150. And over time, now the market is giving me about $250 to $300 for my listing. And you know what? Airbnb is still trying to tell me to charge about $120 a night. So forget about the Airbnb smart pricing. Just use it as a baseline, as the lowest you can make. But do not use that as your final price, because you will definitely undercut yourself. And unfortunately, it will attract some of the most unsavory guests that you could possibly imagine, even though they're getting your place for a deal. So I highly recommend against it. Okay, so if you understand those 3 pillars of your Airbnb pricing strategy and you use the practical steps that I've given, you're gonna be able to earn top dollar for your listing. I hope all this information was super helpful for you all. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know below. I respond to every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps your boy out tremendously. So for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. 再见. Excuse me. I'm not trying to be the cheapest person on the block, okay? Don't lowball yourself. It will end up costing you so much more. Bye. My name is Noble, and it's really windy outside.